We are live, and something really cool happened. So, yesterday we looked into the Founders Films, a new venture by Founders Fund or Palantir, and where they are now taking over Hollywood. They are like, okay, if everything is downstream of culture and Hollywood, film industry, media, the most popular mainstream media controls the culture, then we should be creating culture. We should be creating media. And now that code has become really easy to build, is becoming easier and easier to build. It's important that you focus on the next leverage or next form of leverage, which is media. And it was very interesting. Like the post that I bookmarked, the post that I read, just below that in the comment section, somebody said Ty Morse. And I'm like, okay, who's this guy? I just quickly go into him. I'm like, okay, Ty Morse doing Relentless podcast. I'm like, cool. And then it's done. I record the podcast, I record the live stream, sorry, and I'm done. Today, I wake up, I'm like, okay, let's go to a coffee shop. Let's work from there. Let's think a bit. Let's go on a walk. Let's walk in the sun. I check out this really nice, beautiful coffee shop in Montreal. It's called Tommy Cafe, and I'm sitting over there. I'm working. There's a guy who comes beside me and sits. I am kind of still writing down my notes, and then I just see that, oh, he's on Twitter. And I'm like, I think anybody who's on Twitter is kind of cool. This means that they are interested in what is at the bleeding edge, what is happening in the world right now, what is happening around the world, what are the most interesting things that people around the world are doing. And I'm like, hey, what do you do? He turns to me and I see Relentless on his shirt. And I'm like, wait, I don't think Relentless is pretty small. I don't think this guy is a fan of Relentless and he has bought that t-shirt. I think he's the guy who runs Relentless. And I don't remember the face. I didn't remember the face, but I'm like, okay, looks, he might be it. I'm like, I know you. And he's like, there's no way you know me. I'm in Montreal. Nobody in Montreal knows me. Uh, and I'm like, no, 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 I know you. I know you. You run Relentless Podcast. And I just came across you recently. And recently is literally yesterday. And then we have a conversation. And look at it, we're here. This was really cool. Yesterday I looked into Time Morse, and today I'm just like randomly bumping into this guy. So really cool. He's doing pretty good stuff. And he talked to me about, yeah, his goal is to grow the podcast, talk to the greats, talk to the great hardware builders. I think he's only focused on hardware. And he specifically mentioned that he's doing these podcasts. They are getting good number of views. But one of the last podcasts he did with Ben Bills, Ben Novak, Sunlight Salesman. So the last podcast he did with Ben, he created this quick montage and it was shared by Sean McGuire from Sequoia. And he was pretty happy with that. So let's do a quick look into this. All right, really cool, really cool. And this is it, right? Like Sean McGuire, Sequoia, he pretty much, I'm guessing he invested in this company. I'm lucky to work with Ben Bills. Perfect. So he invested in Reflector Orbital run by Ben Bills and Ben Nowak. Pretty cool bio, Sunlight Salesman. And this is really interesting when you help. I read something yesterday that, hey, most of the time people are trying to sell themselves, sell their products, sell something of themselves. But if you just focus on helping other people and helping other people's ideas, then you win. So here what is happening is this guy is making Ben look cool. Sean McGuire, Sequoia, invested in this company. He's kind of a partner, I'm guessing a board member of this company, directly working with Ben. And now he's like, yeah, that is cool, fucking cool for my portfolio company. And then he's sharing that, getting more eyeballs on Ben. So this is the entire ecosystem where you help each other. You help uh, share other people's ideas. You help other people with their goals. And that's how you grow. So pretty cool stuff, Ty. Good to see you today. Now, let's look into Fred Ersam. So, Fred is Fred is how I know Fred is he was ex Coinbase, I believe the president of Coinbase. And then he left to build Paradigm, right over here, co-founder Paradigm and Coinbase. He was running Coinbase, and he was like, okay, I think I can have a bigger impact. I want to go build a VC firm where we basically build out the ecosystem because with Coinbase, they were focused on being the best in crypto, uh, building a centralized exchange for specifically starting with Bitcoin. And then they realized that, oh, I think there is more to crypto than just Bitcoin. There's an entire ecosystem. And I believe I have an idea of how to, let's say, what's the right word? How to fund that ecosystem, how to make that ecosystem more lively. Because right now we don't see much investment in there. We have a vision, we have a thesis, and we cannot just, and there are people who also want to do stuff, but I think somebody has to go in with funding. Somebody has to put in the capital and encourage, fund all these smart people to actually build out their ideas. So he went on to Paradigm. Paradigm is now doing really cool stuff. We also covered Paradigm previously. I think Paradigm's co-founder Matt Wang, he has a very interesting story, which it kind of opened my eyes to something new. Actually, let me go into it because I was recently talking with one of my friends about that. I was talking to one of my friends about that. And what is that? So Matt Huang is the partner of Fred and he had this entire article written on him uh, by someone, I forgot whom. Uh, but over there, they look into his background and they talk about, I'm guessing, both his parents, both of Matt's parents. Again, Matt is the partner of Fred Ursum at Paradigm. Our goal with this stream is talk about Fred's new company, Nudge, which he just announced. But before that, we want to talk about some background because in general, this ecosystem is really cool. Even Coinbase, he's working with Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong is really cool. He has just stuck with Coinbase and he has been building. Brian Armstrong is known for just being very stoic. Crypto has gone through waves, ups and downs, and a lot of people have said that Brian has been really good at not only leading this entire ecosystem of crypto. Coinbase is the most legit company in crypto today, the biggest crypto company today. I'm not sure about the biggest, but definitely the most legit company. Like people look at them as really good operators who are doing things very ethically, following all the rules, working with the governments, building really good products. And okay, so that's that. And he's known to be just very stoic and being able to go through the waves. So that's that. Now let's come back to Matt Wong. So Matt Wong has, in that entire piece that written about him, they said that his parents were researchers, top researchers at Yale University or something, like Ivy League University. And then it said that Matt's mom, even though she was super smart, she had a really good career going on for her. She had like a really good trajectory in front of her. She left that to, she had kids. She had, I believe, three kids, Matt and two other siblings. And she left that career trajectory to now channel this is the phrase and I cannot forget because I think there was a really good way to say that, which is like she channeled all that intellectual curiosity into her kids, into making her kids really capable, really smart, and just really intelligent, good human beings. And I thought that was really cool. Like if you think about if you think about anybody's career, what happens is that you start as an IC, individual contributor in a company, then you become really good at it. Slowly you become just really good at it, and then you're like, okay, what's next? Now it's about leading a team, make it higher, like getting more people under you, and now helping them grow into really good individual contributors. So that is the natural trajectory. You first start your career as an IC, individual contributor, you get really good at it. The next level is that you become manager. And now you have a team of people who are all ICs, and now you're managing them and helping them grow. And then slowly you get to a level where you are just working with really talented managers or really talented ICs. And now your goal is that, okay, we want to have an impact. And I know that I just cannot have that impact by myself. So I need to create a team. I need to make sure I'm putting the right people in the right places and making sure they are successful. And by having this entire team work together towards this one mission, we are able to have a bigger impact. And it was very interesting. Like when I read that article, I'm like, oh wow, so that similar thing is happening in terms of building a family, where the mom is like, yes, I'm really smart. The mom is like really smart, and now she's like, okay. let the guy focus on career and building a fam and building the financial aspect of it and focusing on the financial aspect of raising the family and building a safety net and making sure the family is secure. And what I will do is I will channel all that intellectual curiosity into our kids, and I will make sure they grow up into really good human beings, and then they can help continue our family for generations, because I'm going to make sure that I'm going to raise kids who are capable, who are intelligent, who are smart. And I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really cool. I think that was just a different perspective of raising kids, because most of the time, what sometimes people might think is that you are sacrificing your career for staying at home. But no, you are not no, but this perspective was actually really cool that hey, these are kids and these are gonna be when they grow up, they are gonna give you most of this is the fact that you invested all your time into making these kids really capable, really smart is gonna give you a lot of joy in future. And that's where all of your happiness is gonna come from. And then they are gonna when you grow old, they're gonna help you and they're gonna do amazing things with their life, and that is gonna give you more joy. And I thought that was very interesting. All right. Anyways, now we come back to Fred. Today in my feed, I just saw that there's a new thing called Nudge. How many followers do we have? Nudge whole brain interfaces for everyday life. So Fred just announced Nudge December 2023. Okay. So somebody owned Nudge before that. We don't know if they were working in stealth or what was happening. But what is this? This is a cool new PFP by Fred. No cover photo over here. Okay. All right. So this was the tweet. We have raised 100 million Series A from Thai capital Green Oaks. Okay. Green Oaks, 49 followers. Who is Green Oaks? With the British racing green color over here. Beautiful. Okay. And if we look at greenoaks.com, it seems like Nudge is going to be the only one over here. We believe a small handful of companies define age generation. Oh no, they have a lot of. Okay. Why do they have 49 followers? July 2025. Okay. Okay. New account. New account. Have they rebranded or something? They have rebranded. Okay. Our sole mission is to partner with these intensely focused teams for decades. Airtable, Brex, Canva, check out Cockroach. I had a friend who worked at Cockroach. Such a weird name. Deliveroo, Discord, Figma, Flipkart. Okay. Flock, Klaviyo. We looked into Flipkart. Sorry, Flock. Flock acquired Aerodome, I believe. Aerodome was pretty cool. Papaya Global, Personio, Pigment, Rippling, Robinhood, Scale, C, Stripe, Vercel, Wiz. Wow. Okay. Wait, what is Grey Dogs? I want to look into it now. What is Green Oaks Capital or VC firm? Is it rebranding of an existing VC firm? All right, let's see if Block can figure that out. But let's go back to Fred. All right. And a host of great angels, everyone's brain can work better. Engineering that idea into reality is the most impactful advancement we can make to life. Okay? Engineering that idea into reality is the most impactful advancement we can make to life. Uniswap. Yes. You just left Uniswap. If you want to work on one of the hardest and most consequential problem to humankind, reach out. Holy Grail will be deactivating the default mode network on demand, literally and figuratively. So excited about this, Fred. Deactivating the default mode network on demand, literally and figuratively. Kara Wu. Okay. Partner A16Z, Sense product Apple, SWE, HoloLens, Dropout, DMs are open. Let's talk. I'm so excited to try. Congrats. Quinton, Felix, raising the baseline, co-founder Nudge, founding team Arcadia Med. Really cool. Alex Worldcoin? No, OpenSea. Okay, co-founder and CTO of OpenSea. Now the CEO of Open Router, yeah, the largest LLM marketplace. Really cool. Open Router, largest LLM marketplace. Wow. That's like a really good move from crypto to AI. The unified interface for LLMs, better prices, better uptime, no subscription. Gemini 2.5 Pro, Kimi K2. Kimi is something that is popping up a lot. Okay, what is Kimi K2? All right, what did we get over here? Green Oaks is a San Francisco-based capital firm founded by in 2012 by Neil Mehta and Benjamin Peretz, both former executive at DE Shaw. Consider long-term investments in enduring technology-enabled businesses globally with a focus on internet, health tech, B2B, and other high-growth sectors. Firm manages around 15 billion in assets, offer backing generation-defining companies, often with a value investing approach. Value investing approach applied to fast-growing tech startups. We got the notable ones. Recently closed its largest fund to date, raising 2.5 billion for Fund 6. Really interesting. I think this is very interesting because as we read in the Windsurf, one of the commentary about Windsurf, I think was Will Manidis mentioned about just VC firm that people have just realized that we might need lesser and lesser capital to build bigger and bigger companies as AI is having a deflationary effect on product building. We might need lower and lower capital to build better products, to build even better products. So maybe VC structure, as we know, would change, and people might not raise bigger funds. But this is very interesting. These are smart people, former executives at DE Shaw, but but are they right doing this, raising 2.5 billion for their next fund? The firm is publicity shy and maintains low profile with a minimal online presence. The website is sparse and lists no detailed history or team bios. Official account is, oh, okay. Zero posts, around 600 followers. No active account on Green Oaks was found. Bruh, it literally shows up over here. Grok has messed up again. Okay, but at least we know something that Green Oaks is maybe they are new to Twitter. Maybe they are new to Twitter. I mean, with Nudge, they are announcing their Twitter, but they have always been there since 2012. Executives at the Shaw. Kimi K2, advanced open source. Okay, this is open source, developed by Moonshot AI Chinese AI startup founded in March 23. Mixture of exports model 1 trillion total parameters and 32 billion activated parameters per inference. Mixture of exports seems like something similar to what Grok 4 has done, where you have when you ask a difficult question, when you ask a tough question, what happens is, and you use Grok 4 heavy, what happens is it's multiple agents, let's say five agents working individually on the same problem set. And when they finish, they act like a collaborative study group where everybody's now everybody is checking each other's problem, each other's solution, and they are kind of coming to a conclusion that, okay, we all we all are super smart, we all worked individually on this problem, and now let's come together, let's talk. What is the answer now? And that seems like the approach of a mixture of experts. Designed for agentic intelligence, excelling in tasks like coding, reasoning, autonomous problem solving. Two variants, Kimi K2 base for researchers and developers to fine-tune, Kimi K2 instruct for general purpose chat and agentic task. Architecture uses sparse MOE system activating only 8 of 384 exports per token for efficiency with 128,000 token context window. Employs the Nuo clip optimizer to ensure stable training at scale, addressing issues like attention value instability. Optimized for tool use, autonomous workflows, and multi-step task execution. Trained via large-scale agentic data synthesis. Available for free by Moonshot AS chat interfaces or Hugging Face demos. Okay, got it. So this is Chinese AI. Now we should go into looking at Nudge. Devin, congrats, Fred. Browser company co-founder Mad Realities. Mad Realities was pretty cool. Okay, let's look into this. Half the world will experience a brain disorder in their lifetime. At Nudge, we are building, Nudge is a great name. We are building brain interfaces that are safe, precise, and non-invasive to solve that problem. We have raised 100 million Series A by led by Thrive Capital and Greenox to go faster. We're hiring. Join us. It's very interesting. Like, how do you compete with Neuralink? How do you compete with Neuralink? If you say you are non-invasive, pressure prediction, pressure confirmation, brain activity, acoustic properties, pressure prediction. Okay. 3 months ago, we built and tested Nudge Zero, Magnetome Prisma. Is this a Nudge machine? So this seems like, oh, wait, okay, right here. This is their logo. So this seems like their Nudge machine. Hydraulics, massive wires, capturing the brain. Wow. 3 months ago, we built and tested Nut Zero, our first human-ready system. Today, we are using the device on people nearly every day in research studies to develop and improve our platform. Doing this will requires deep advances in physics modeling. Whoa. Signal processing, hardware design, and real-time feedback systems. If you're driven by hard problems that matter, come build the future with us. Okay, we got the blog over here, and maybe let's look at Fred's other post. Person.xyz. What does he have over here? This seems like Fred is the CEO and co-founder of Nudge. Okay, he's the CEO. He is taking the CEO role. I thought he would be taking more like a president approach again. Co-founder of Nudge, whose mission is to build the most capable whole brain computer interface in the world, starting with. That's really cool. He went from crypto to crypto VC to now brain BCI, brain computer interface. Starting with non-invasive ultrasound to solve acute medical conditions like opioid addiction and chronic pain. In addition to Nudge, Fred is a significant founder of cutting-edge biotech startups and researchers spanning everything from assisted reproductive technologies to longevity and new AI models for protein folding and drug discovery. He hosts the Prometheus Summit, which brings together top researchers and scientists in the field. Really cool. Prior to Nudge, Fred co-founded two category-leading companies, Coinbase and Paradigm. Fred started his career at Goldman Sachs in New York and holds a BS in computer science and economics with honors and distinction from Duke University. He was named Time Magazine's list of 30 people under 30 changing the world. Is this okay? Let's see. Who all can we find over here? Tabuzi, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. It's not Jason Statham, it's Jason Tatum. Okay. AI entrepreneurs like Demi Guo and Chenlin Meng who raised 135 for the start of Speaker. Okay. Then he's growing influence, 3.6 billion collective funding, and over 300 million social media followers. Okay. Very interesting. I want to see 24 list. Do some research. Whoa. Oh, okay. Prometheus Summit. Oh, wow. It's a password protected website. So Jackson Hole, is that Wyoming? So you have to put the password only then you can get in. Wow, not everybody can see what's happening. Jackson Hole, WY, Wyoming. They fly in the most talented researchers and they ski over there. Very interesting. Nudge. All right. Let's look at other tweets if we have anything that relates. All right. Computers able to zero shot antibody discovery. Science fiction is becoming real. Try discovery. All right. Try to. We're excited to introduce Try to major breakthrough in molecular design. Try to enables zero shot antibody discovery in 24 well plate, exceeding previous soda. Soda is state of the art. State of the art? State of the art. State of the art by 100x. So Fred seems to be all in into biotech, into cutting edge biotech startups and researchers spanning everything from assisted reproductive technology to longevity and new AI models for protein folding and drug discovery. He hosts the Prometheus Summit, which brings together top researchers and scientists in the world. Very interesting. Oh, this is really cool. This is really cool that how there are these really smart PhDs who have been working on some really important problems for a really long time, and suddenly, with AI becoming so much better, they are finally able to do things in a much faster way, scale it, build these really interesting models. Really cool. I'm just thinking, where is this? Is this London? Is this SF? Is this LA? It's Detroit. Okay. Sorry, discovery. Okay, when I look at this, this reminds me of one of the work that a friend is doing. So I'll just quickly send him a message. Okay, perfect. Message sent. And now we will and go back to Fred. Or computers able to zero-shot antibody discovery, science fiction is becoming real. All right, Fred has some interesting opinions about stable coins. This is 18th June, not July, June. Should we read it? Let's read it. Stablecoins working at scale significantly accelerates crypto as the future of the financial system. This is really important, so it's okay. We'll read it. All financial services will need to be rebuilt for this ecosystem. This is a once in a generation platform shift. This is so cool. It's like this person is not only interested in ideas across the field, across the platform, but also he is working on them. He's building on them. He's one by one going after it. And then when you want to scale your impact, you become a VC, and then you start funding the right founders. And when you feel like, okay, you are really passionate about this one field, like BCI, Brain Code Interface, you're like, okay, I'll be the CEO. Stablecoins working at scale significantly accelerates crypto as the future of the financial system. All financial services will need to be rebuilt for this ecosystem. This is a once in a generation platform shift. The major pillars of the future of finance are up for grabs. The major pillars of the future of finance are up for grabs. This new financial system grows from two opposite ends of the demographic barbell. Developed world investors on one end, developing world consumers, businesses whose alternatives are significantly worse on the other. Hmm. From two opposite ends of the demographic barbell, developed world investors on one end and developing world consumers, businesses whose alternatives are significantly worse on the others. This can be a challenging dynamic to navigate for those building products. In some cases, these demographics need wildly different products. In others, the same product is best due to network effects. Some of these products will be copied from TradFi, some bridged from TradFi, others entirely novel. Some will be off-chain, some on-chain, most hybrid. The potential rewards are tremendous. Crypto-based services can often operate globally, allowing them to reach scales not otherwise possible and far quicker, consolidating fragmented markets in the process. The potential rewards are tremendous. Crypto-based services can often operate globally, allowing them to reach scales not otherwise possible and far quicker, consolidating fragmented markets in the process. The most important things are just how fast the transaction take place. I've been working with some companies, and this is very interesting when you are like that. Okay, let's pay in USDC, and while we are chatting, the payment is made. It sounds crazy that you will have Stripe, and Stripe is going to take 3% off the income. You got to set up your Stripe, you got to register documents and stuff. Or even with the bank, you got to do some crazy stuff over there. A bank is going to call you, they're going to, these are all legality measures, but just the fact that when you are with someone, you are trading value for money and you can do that so seamlessly, which should be a thing. And the fact that we are able to do it, that feels very unreal. There's a classic dynamic and internet-based disruptions in other categories consolidate, transform, and expand. Agree. Big moment. All right. Oh, wow. General matter. Okay. So before this, he was writing about general matter, something that we covered way back. So that is very interesting. Creating abundant energy by pushing, creating abundant energy by pushing nuclear in the US is one of the most important things to work on. Scott Nolan is pushing very, very hard to make that happen. Proud to be a seed investor. Creating abundant energy by pushing nuclear in the US is one of the most important things to work on. That is very interesting. When you say something like this, and then you go and work on BCI, how do you not work on the most important problem? Oh, this is Nudge, right? Our mission is to develop the best technology for interfacing with the brain to improve people's lives. This is how the product looks like to not today. I think this is Nudge Zero, like no major design changes, seems like, from outside at least. Excited to share details of what we are working on Nudge for the first time today. Our mission is to improve everyday life by developing the best technologies for interfacing with the brain. As a first step on this mission, the team has been hard at work creating the most capable non-invasive ultrasound neuromodulation device in the world, Nudge Zero. Wow. Look at all these electromagnetic wires, stripes. As the first step on this mission, the team has been hard at work creating the most capable, non-invasive ultrasound neuromodulation device in the world, net zero. So we don't know what that means, neuromodulation, but let's see, let's read this more. And look at this. It's like a, it seems like, okay, I'm guessing, I'm pretty, I haven't read this, but I'm guessing what he's going to say is that this is how it looks today, where you have to go into kind of a, what do we call them? Magnetic resonance MRI, an MRI kind of machine, and you got to go to a hospital. You got to get into this MRI like machine, and then you will get your report or whatever. If it's a fix or it's just a prediction, you will get that using this massive machine. But the future is it looks like a headphone. You can keep it at home and you can get yourself treated. Will first use the device to attempt to treat acute medical conditions in the coming months with the eventual goal of creating a, exactly, this is what I predicted. I didn't read it. With the eventual goal of creating a headphone-like miniaturized version, speculative mock-up below. Wow. Wow. So he said that opioid addiction, treating addictions, treating medical conditions, treat acute medical conditions in the coming months with the eventual goal of creating a headphone-like miniaturized version, speculative mock-up below to enhance mood, cognition, and daily life for healthy people. Very interesting. Whole brain interfaces for everyday life. And it says for healthy people. Okay, so you are putting these headphones on to improve your mood, cognition, and daily life. This is the perfect blend. This is exactly what people mean when they say like we're about to become the machine and human is going to blend. I forgot what's the word for that. What's the word for that? Forgot. Transhumanism. I don't know if that's transhumanism, but whatever. We are going to use so much technology to improve human capabilities, cognition, mood, that we are going to get somewhere in the middle where all the human potential has been maximized. And now the next way, and to go beyond, now you need machines. And that blend of humans and machines, that is going to be the next frontier. We believe improving the human experience is the most important thing to work on. This should be the goal of technology, and building technologies to interface with the brain is the most direct way of doing so. Look at this. We believe improving right now at this point, the fact that we don't know much about it, and they can generate these beautiful looking animations. It's very exciting, but we don't know yet what is the goal over here. I think we'll read the blog and we'll get to know, understand better. But they have reached 100 billion, so that's definitely going somewhere. We believe improving the human experience is the most important thing to work on. And I'm also surprised, like, if Fred has so much money from Coinbase, from Coinbase, from Paradigm, why wouldn't you just fund this company yourself? If you really want to work, why wouldn't you just fund this company myself? My first uh intuition, my instinct would say that just by raising outside capital, you kind of put yourself on a strict deadline. And just because you have these shareholders, and if these shareholders are also aligned and they're also experts, like I'm not sure Green Oaks. If Green Oaks is just like ex-executives from DE Shaw who are just financial people who are just giving you money, I'm not sure how much is that valuable. But let's say from Thrive Capital perspective, Thrive Capital has a bunch of experts who are a bunch of experts, bunch of other companies in the network who help Fred and the Nudge team to kind of number one, not only give them research, but help them hire better people, help them hire better scientists, then that network could be really helpful and that support could be really helpful. But just capital at this point doesn't seem like Fred needs that. So it would be, I'm just curious, like why, what is the goal of raising capital when you already have all that money? I believe improving the human experience is the most important thing to work on. Okay, he again said that. We believe improving the human experience is the most important thing to work on. He also said that using nuclear to create energy abundance in the US is also the most important thing to work on. If you share these beliefs, check out nudge.careers.com/careers. Accomplishing the mission requires the world's best engineers, researchers, and specialists across a variety of domains. So if raising capital from these funds that has experts, that has a network that could help them hire the best engineers, researchers, and specialists, I think that could be really valuable. More info on our mission technology approach here. Brian Johnson, this is awesome, Fred. All right, so Brian Johnson is in. This is crazy. Like just the fact that Brian Johnson is like, hey, I'm all about health. What does his bio say? Conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. Yes, love that. Love that. Conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. We love to see these bold, small, bold, clear headlines, right? We love to see that. Conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. Hmm. Jesse's here. Sean McGuire, Congress Fred, Ashley Vance, Alex, New Road Labs, deep work on command drug free with our headband in just 20 minutes per day. We'd love to try and nudge mainstream product eventually. Riva Tez, yes, tech and philosophy. Jeffrey Wu, whoa, Jeffrey Wu is the partner of Anti-Fun with Jake Paul. Looks awesome, congrats, Fred. Let me know when I can try. Blake Robbins, about what Blake Robbins does. Hanging out on the edges, hidden cap, co-host Gamecraft. Hanging out on the edges of the internet, hidden cap. Jacob, yes, Zora. Victor, Stripe co-founder, Coplane, building finance data systems. Vincent, Prime Intellect, yes, really cool. All right, now we can go to the website. So we look at this one first. I hope there is new information. Announcing 100 million Series A. Multiple modalities of data from a participant's brain collected through research sessions with the Nudge Zero device. About half of all people will experience a neurological or psychiatric disorder in their lifetime. While we have made significant advances in treating infectious diseases, cancer, and cardiovascular conditions, progress in brain health has lagged far behind. These disorders like addiction, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and Alzheimer's are some of the greatest harms to human well-being. Why did it become so dark in here? While we have made significant advances in treating infectious diseases, cancer, and cardiovascular conditions, progress in brain health has lagged far behind. These disorders like addiction, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, PTSD, Alzheimer's are some of the greatest harms to human well-being. Addiction, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and Alzheimer's. I don't know, this makes me think like, who was it? I was watching a podcast and maybe it was Nawal on Chris Williamson. And it just like a, what do we call it? Just like a test. And just like a hypothetical question. And Nawal asked Chris Williamson that, hey, if you had a device that could make you feel bliss all the time, would you try it? And it's very interesting. It's like we have to go through these emotions. We have to go through these emotions of depression. Depression is not really bad. Depression basically means that you need to change something. You need to change something. Like I believe one of the best things that I have read about depression, or one of the best things that I'm lucky to have come across depression, is simply Scott Galloway saying that going to gym, lifting weights is an antidepressive drug. And I even have that on my calendar every single day that, hey, that calendar event is called Lift Antidepressive Drug. So for me, lifting is not about that, oh, I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. Lifting is more about antidepressive drug. I go there, I lift heavy weight, and I feel really, really good after that. I feel really, really good after that. And I think that is it. That is it. Like yeah, you gotta leverage that emotion. But if you have depression, and if I give you a medicine or something that is basically antidepressive pills, if you have depression and I give you a medicine to not feel that depression, which your so Depression was a way for your body, your brain to tell you that, hey, something needs to change, but now you have suppressed that emotion. That means that you are not going to make a change. That means that you're not going to grow. And that is making you numb to emotions. So I'm not sure if that is good. Uh, yeah, like you just need to build simple habits. Like, hey, this is also interesting. Like we came across a lot of my friends came across this one video on YouTube recently, maybe 1 or 2 months ago, where there's a guy sitting with his dog, and the background is basically a hike, mountains. He's like sitting somewhere in the mountains with his dog, and he's on a hike kind of thing. So that's the thumbnail of the YouTube video. And the description is that graduate from MIT, something like that, like graduate from MIT, and here's why I quit my high paying, I don't know if he said high paying, but here's why I quit my neurosurgeon job, something like that. Graduate from MIT, and here's why I graduate from MIT, became a neurosurgeon, and here's why I quit all of that, something like that. And the main thesis of that entire video was the main idea behind the entire video. I actually didn't even watch that entire video. YouTube has this new feature of AI summary, and I just looked at that AI summary, and it said that what this guy is saying is that when you are a neurosurgeon and when you are working in a hospital, most of the time the people who need you are people who have gone down a really bad road for a long, long time. And now it's really hard for them to make a major change. And something bad has happened. And now they are coming to you. So it's very reactive. It's very reactive. You're only trying to solve the problem when it has turned really, really bad. And what the guy was saying is that if all you do is sleep, eat good, exercise, if all you focus on is sleep, nutrition, exercise, good sleep, good nutrition, good exercise, you should be good. You should be good. You should never need me. But the problem is people who don't focus on sleep, nutrition, exercise for a long, 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 long time, they develop these really bad conditions, and that's when they need me, and that's when I'm treating them, and it doesn't feel very fulfilling for me when because even after that, it's really hard to change all these habits that they have built over the years. So it will be much easier if I just help people build good habits for sleep, exercise, nutrition today, and make sure they keep stacking on it, and make sure that that's yeah, I've also just realized that if health is a goal for you, if health is a priority for you, everything is downstream of that. Everything is downstream of that. Who are the kind of people you hang out with? If you are traveling to a new city, what kind of food are you eating? What places are you hitting? What activities are you doing? What places are you living in? Is it close to a gym? Are you going on walks? Are you trying out restaurants with good food? Do you have friends who look good and who are lifting and who are taking care of their health? What hobbies and habits you have? Everything, everything. What cities you would like to hang out in? What places do you live in? Like for me, the most important thing why I wanted to live in downtown is somebody else said this. Like the price of what was the exact phrase? Living in downtown, that's the price you pay to be around fit, good-looking people. And that's the difference. You can live in a suburb or you can live in downtown, but downtown is really expensive. In suburb, you'll save a lot of money. But by living in downtown, you're constantly surrounded by good-looking, fit people. And that is inspiring. That is very inspiring. When you're constantly seeing people running and taking care of their health and eating good food and drinking smoothies and walking in the sun, that is good. And young people, that is good. And you are talking to them, making friends, that is good. Okay, now let's get back. And they're often rooted in deep brain structures that have been historically difficult to reach without surgery. And they're often rooted in deep brain structures that have been historically difficult to reach without surgery. We have a lot to learn about the brain. The field of neuroscience is relatively young, but we also know a lot about what needs to be done and where to start. What we still lack is a safe, precise, and scalable way to reach the deep brain. What we still lack is a safe, precise, and scalable way to reach the deep brain. Meanwhile, nearly 1 billion people globally currently suffer from a mental or substance use disorder. I think this is also something I was thinking about for Brian Johnson. Like Brian Johnson recently posted about the fact that um, what he likes to do is he likes to finish all his food that he would eat in a day by noon. That's crazy. He wakes up at 5:30 a.m. So he has his first meal by then, and he's pretty much having his dinner around by noon. So he doesn't have dinner like us at 8 p.m. He's having his dinner pretty much at like 12 noon. And then he says that I love that. But what happens is that makes, if I want to follow that routine, if that is what my body feels really good at, I feel really bad when I'm traveling or when I'm in a social event. So he said that when I'm in a social event, what I do is just to be respectful and just to not bring a lot of attention towards me. What I do is I basically I basically put something random on my I just put some food on my plate just so that I don't catch a lot of attention from other people that, oh, why is this guy not eating? And so that was really cool. And Brian Johnson has also clicked pictures with some just like places like slushy places and just like really sweet drinks. And he's like, hey, this is gonna kill you. And I love that. I love that he's saying that because for me, once I got into this entire routine of just drinking smoothies and all coffees and good food and stuff like that, now I cannot see myself eating bad stuff, eating highly sugar, highly processed stuff, because it's like, yeah, you can clearly see how that doesn't make you feel good, and you feel like, okay, you are not in the best mood, and your brain is foggy and stuff like that. So that is really true. I love that. I love that he's saying that. But I think but what I also miss is just the fact that when you're traveling to some cities, you don't even have the options. So yeah, I think my only thing with Brian would be that, hey, I'm guessing he's working on it, but instead of instead of complaining or showing people that, hey, don't eat, don't eat, don't eat, don't eat, you rather want to show people how great you feel when you do the right things. It's very similar. I think there was this one guy who used to host these programs, whatever. He used to do coaching programs or like teaching people about sales and stuff. And he was like, I host my sales programs in a big castle because I can teach people anywhere. I can get them to buy courses, they can learn at home. But when they pay for their sales program, when I bring them to this castle, when they pay more, when I bring them to this castle, and then when I teach them over there, it changes the way it really makes them want this lifestyle. It really makes people want this thing. And that's when they work harder. So when you when you never experience the great, the good, you don't even know how big of a change that is. So you are always like, hey, I don't want that. I don't want that. It's easier to not desire something when you don't know how great that will make you feel. But the moment you feel that great, you are like, there's no way I'm going back. Once you are around people who are amazing, once you have amazing friends, you clearly understand that I'm never going back to people who are toxic. When you experience how good this food, the sun makes me feel, you're never gonna go back to eating bad food and just staying inside your home all day. It's with everything. When you live in a good place, you realize that you are never gonna go back to living in a bad place. So everything. So you gotta make people experience the great so they for themselves can make a decision. I'm never going back to that. But and also, so that is one. Number one, you want to make people feel that. And number two is we just need abundance. We just need abundance of these really good smoothie shops and people, smoothie shops and stuff. Because yeah, that's what will change. I think run clubs have made a difference where we have run clubs and run clubs have this interesting thing where okay, you meet at this point, you start the run. Maybe you're gonna run 5K, maybe you're gonna run 10K, and then you end up at a coffee shop and everybody is then drinking coffee. But hey, you just ran, so you need protein. So then you have a protein smoothie shop. You go to a smoothie shop and as more and more young people are starting to do that, that is leading to that is a business opportunity. So people will start that business. So this is really cool. In Vancouver, we have a lot of that. In Vancouver, we have Body Energy Club, which is pretty much everywhere. There are like 4 to 5 stores of Body Energy throughout downtown. That is amazing. That is amazing. And we have other stores who are also focused on that. Vancouver in general is just known for health, and I love that about it. In Montreal, I've seen some people who are into running and who are healthy. I think the weather over here is a little bit more humid, which makes people not. I'm guessing it will not make me run. I think weather is such a big difference between how if weather is bad, if it's too hot. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like I don't feel like going out. So yeah, weather is also a big difference. But anyways, let's get back. Meanwhile, nearly 1 billion people globally currently suffer from a mental or substance use disorder. Chronic pain affects 1 in 5 adults worldwide and costs the US alone up to 635 billion annually. Neurological diseases are now the leading cause of lost healthy years of life, surpassing even cardiovascular disease. Neurological diseases are now the leading cause of lost healthy years of life, surpassing even cardiovascular diseases. Pharmaceuticals help some. Invasive neurosurgery has brought life-changing relief to a few, but for most people, there's a gap between what's possible and what medicine can deliver today. A gap that has swallowed decades of productive life. Now is the time to solve it. What we are doing about it. At Nudge, we are building the best technology for interfacing with the brain to improve people's lives safely, precisely, and without surgery. Safely, precisely, and without surgery. Our first platform is based on non-invasive focused ultrasound. Okay, I feel like there's different things happening between Neuralink and Nudge. Nudge is focused more on mood cognition, solving these addiction problems, and Neuralink is more about solving specific problems like, hey, if you're not able to talk, how do we get you to still communicate using this system? Hmm. Our first platform is based on non-invasive focused ultrasound, which allows you to stimulate and image the brain with millimeter precision. 3 months ago, we built and tested Net Zero, our first human-ready system. Today, there's a link. Okay. Today, we are using the device on people nearly every day in research studies to develop and improve our platform. Soon, we'll begin helping patients who can benefit from this technology. While vertically integrating hardware, software neuroscience, we are building an end-to-end brain interface platform that's scalable, adaptive, and grounded in real human need. Achieving this requires solving some of the most difficult technical challenges in the world. Delivering high-resolution ultrasound through the skull is not like sending sound through air or soft tissue. Delivering high-resolution ultrasound through the skull is not like sending sound through air or soft tissue. The skull acts as a highly distorting lens. The acoustic properties of bone vary from person to person, and even small errors in targeting or ultrasound parameters can make the difference between meaningful engagement of a brain circuit and none at all. Delivering high resolution ultrasound through the skull is not like sending sound through air or soft tissue. The skull acts as a highly distorting lens. The acoustic properties of bone vary from person to person, and even small errors in targeting or ultrasound parameters can make the difference between meaningful engagement of a brain circuit and none at all. Propagating through a skull. Okay, so this is a skull and how it distorts, highly distorting lens. Okay. In parallel, we also need to develop the hardware algorithms for ultrasound-based structural and functional imaging through the skull, create methods to optimize sonication parameters for each individual from neural and psychological readouts, and build a consumer-grade product that just works. Doing this well requires deep advances in physical modeling, signal processing, hardware design, and real-time feedback systems, alongside an ever-evolving map of how the brain is organized, how it responds, and how it can be guided. Deep advances in physical modeling, signal processing, hardware design, and real-time feedback systems, alongside an ever-evolving map of how the brain is organized, how it responds, and how it can be guided. This will not be easy. We have assembled a team of the best who believe hard things are worth doing, bringing together domain experts, world-class engineers, and researchers in one place, working together, working toward that shared goal is what makes such an ambitious mission possible. To help us achieve these goals at scale and pace that has not been done before, we raise 100 million Series A led by Thrive Capital and Greenox. Future we are building. Imagine a future where chronic pain can be relieved without opioids, where a patient with, okay, so this is interesting. There's like two levels. People have chronic pain, They take opioids and then they develop opioid addiction, which is bad. And now they get into some bad space. So now with this, you're not only solving the chronic pain, but you're also preventing people from opioid addiction, where a patient with PTSD can regulate traumatic recall in real time, where clinicians can image and modulate brain circuits as easily as checking a patient's heart rate. Imagine a future where focus can be enhanced without caffeine, where learning a new language or skill takes days or weeks rather than months or years. Wow. Okay. I think this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be very interesting. People who had, hmm, is this going to be crazy for, let's say there are some things that require you to, if you for job you require it requires you to learn a language, and now around that language there are many institutions that help you learn that language, and that is a real business for them. But now you can just put this headset on, and now you can focus. You can relearn that language. And what is happening to all these businesses that were around that? Hey, we will learn you French. Help you learn French. Help you learn Spanish. All these businesses are gone because people can just put these headsets on, become like a yeah, become better at learning language with this high-end neurosurgery technology, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Without caffeine, where learning a new language or skill takes days or weeks rather than months or years. This future isn't science fiction, it's an engineering roadmap, and we're building it now. We're hiring across software, ML, hardware, neuroscience, embedded systems, clinical operations, standard, and people ops roles, and more. We're doing the hard problems that matter. Come build the future with us. And the references are Harvard, Who.int, PubMed, JPain. What's JPain? JPain, Journal of Pain. The economic cost of pain in the United States. Let's see. Grok, where are you at? Grok, where are you at? Can you give me key takeaways from this paper? Let's see. Grok, can you do it? Can you look at JPain? Summarize key takeaways from a specific pain research paper. Let's read the abstract. A 2008 perspective. Okay, let's look at perspective first. Study estimates that the national cost of pain ranges from 560 to 635 billion, larger than the cost of the nation's priority health conditions. Because of its economic toll on society, the nation should invest in research, education, training to advocate the successful treatment, management, and prevention of pain. In 2008, according to the Medical Expenditure Panel survey, MAPS, about 100 million adults in the United States were affected by chronic pain, including joint pain or arthritis. Pain is costly to the nation because it requires medical treatment and complicates treatment for other ailments. Also, pain lowers worker productivity. Using the 2008 MAPS, we estimated the portion of total US healthcare cost attributable to pain and the annual cost of pain associated with lower worker productivity. We found that the total cost ranged from 560 to 635 billion in 2010 dollars. Additional healthcare costs due to pain range from 261 to 300. Increase in annual per person healthcare cost ranging from 261 to 300 compared to base of about 4250 for persons without pain. Value of lost productivity due to pain range. Da, 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 da. All right, too many numbers. Our estimates are conservative because they don't include costs associated with pain from for nursing home residents, children, military personnel, and persons who are incarcerated. Defining persons with pain, measuring healthcare and productivity costs, adjusting for other factors, estimating healthcare expenditure models, results, acknowledgement, lost work days, reduce hours worked, lower hourly wages. Working examples, use regression models controlling for demographics, health behaviors, other factors, direct cost, approximately 47 billion annually, primarily for back pain, with major expenditures on office-based services and hospital inpatient stays. Pain is self-reported, and estimates are conservative, excluding costs for children, elderly, institutionalized individuals, caregivers, and non-work activities. Study underestimates total cost by not including indirect societal burdens like reduced quality of life, legal fees, or tax revenue losses. Calls for greater investment in pain research, prevention, education, and multidisciplinary care to mitigate this economic toll, emphasizing pain's role as a major public health and economic issue. All right, this is nudge. Okay, again, let's look at this. For more than a decade, researchers have been exploring the effects of ultrasound modulating brain activity in both animals and humans, mostly using relatively simple hardware and software. The simplest versions of these devices use a single transmitter called a transducer that produces an ultrasound wave. The transmitter is physically moved around the head in order to target a desired location in the brain, with the ultrasound wave using simulation software and visual tracking systems for feedback. Adding more transmitters allows you to change the shape, size, and placement of the focus, the region where the intensity of the ultrasound is highest. Without moving the transducer physically, the focus location can be changed electronically by delaying transmitted signals so that the peak of each wave arrives at the target location at the same time. This approach, aligning multiple signals at a single point by controlling their phases, is called phased array. Aligning multiple signals at a single point by controlling their phases is called a phased array. Only focusing. Focus is a single point. Interesting. Studies using ultrasound technology have shown the capacity to modulate brain regions in humans, like the thalamus and the nucleus accumbens. Other studies using the most advanced available hardware have been able to precisely modulate brain circuits to reduce tremor and activate visual regions of the brain. Increasing evidence suggests that ultrasound-based neuromodulation has potential to be powerful treatment for mental health and neurological disorders. Recent double-blind randomized controlled trial active ultrasound was shown to substantially reduce chronic pain, and participants reported that the pain decreasing within seconds after the ultrasound was applied. Opioid use disorder, cravings for drugs of abuse such as heroin and meta methamphetamine, met, methamphetamine, amphetamine, methamphetamine, dramatically decreased after a single session of ultrasound, and these effects persisted out to 90 days. Notably, all of these results were produced by academic groups with access to devices using phased array technology rather than simpler single element transducers. While these early results are extremely exciting, most studies in this field have been small and have had limited ability to invest in the testing and development needed to better understand and optimize ultrasound-based therapies. Through better technology enabling new research, we are working to make these effects reliable and generalizable for everyone. Better hardware and software allow us to more precisely and consistently target the desired brain regions, and breakthroughs in research will help us better understand how to target the relevant brain circuitry to produce the strongest effects. How to target the relevant brain circuitry to produce the strongest effects. Brain circuitry. Our devices. The mission of building the best technology for interfacing with the brain means accessing structures across the whole brain, improving understanding of the functions of different regions, and eventually being able to interact with those brain regions in increasingly precise ways. We're taking an approach to the product that starts with access to nearly the whole brain with a level of accuracy that lets us target millimeter size subregions, and that works at the functional circuit level to help tackle the problems that affects the most people. The voice architecture we have developed is a high channel count ultrasound phased array packed into a helmet structure that can be used in the MRI machine. Okay, yes, they were using MRI machine. This form factor allows us to use advanced imaging techniques while the device is in use, creating the optimal environment to characterize the accuracy and efficacy of our treatments. In addition to using structural and functional MRI to visualize our targets and understand the impact of ultrasound delivery on brain function, we have developed an MR imaging technique based on acoustic radiation force imaging, which allows us to reliably see the ultrasound focus in the brain. This is not just an idea. We developed the first version of this device in 6 months and have already iterated on a significantly improved version. Ultrasound focus in the brain. Basically, what they're doing is they are using the ultrasound to focus, create the ultrasound, focus on one point and fix it. Hmm. Having the best hardware that you can upgrade easily is essential. But to actually deploy effective treatments also requires the best software that can make use of such a powerful tool. We have been pushing on state-of-the-art simulation modeling and imaging algorithms to provide complete control over how our device interacts with the brain. Looking ahead, having people who are suffering from medical conditions will be enormously impactful, with the best brain interface for improving people's life necessarily means technology that can be used by everyone. We are ultimately building a generalized device to be as simple, portable, and affordable as a smartphone, with the capability to both treat disease and augment cognitive functions such as focus, sleep, learning, and memory. Anyone can benefit from a better state of mind. To make this a reality requires the world's best engineers. Blah 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 blah. Blah. Our initial device is built to ensure we can drive the most robust and powerful effects and is not designed for portability. In parallel, we are building the foundation for another architecture which is meant to be used at home and in everyday life, as easy to use and as ubiquitous as headphones are today. Bringing this technology into the home requires miniaturizing the electronics using more advanced fabrication techniques for the transducers, building the imaging capabilities from our MRI guided approach into the device itself, and solving the difficult technical challenges required to personalize stimulation. Our mission is to develop the best technology for interfacing with the brain to improve people's lives. We are starting with an approach that we believe can help the most people the fastest and also allow us to learn as much about the brain as possible, developing a non-invasive ultrasound device that can stimulate and image the brain at high resolution and depth, vertically integrate effort, building cutting-edge hardware, software, research capabilities to create products that can benefit millions and eventually billions. Focused ultrasound has the potential to deliver anatomically precise, personalized treatments, engaging deep regions of the brain that were previously only accessible through invasive surgery. Flexibility to more easily adapt our treatments, refining them over time to reflect what works best for each individual. Demonstrating that focused ultrasound delivered to the deep brain can be safe and effective as a treatment for medical conditions that are a source of immense suffering. We see the technology being used by everyone for application as wide ranging as improving mood, focus, and memory. World-class engineering organization capable of executing on the most ambitious ideas for improving the way humanity interacts with and relates to our brain. Okay, really cool. Our mission, technology, and approach. Okay, so we just read that about our studies. Okay, we read that. And this is the Joiner's current studies. Whole brain interfaces for everyday life. Current studies, general interest from chronic brain visibility study. Click to register. Hmm. Healthy volunteer study, submit a general interest form. Click to register. So what do we need? First name, last name, phone number, between 22 to 65, able to travel to San Francisco, 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 5 times over a 3 peak period. I do not have any permanent metal objects in my body. What times are you available? Okay. Diagnosed conditions, tobacco, cocaine, substance, chronic anxiety, phobia, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, depression, bipolar, migraine, essential tremor, epilepsy, tinnitus, insomnia, eating disorders. Okay, interesting. We're studying how transcranial ultrasound stimulation affects brain activity in chronic pain using magnetic resonance imaging. Please note this is not a treatment study. The information we collect will help us discover better research tools and advanced advance our understanding of chronic pain mechanisms. Inclusion criteria: targeted sound waves for specific brain regions via an MRI scanner, 5 visits lasting 1 to 2 hours each. You will also complete daily questionnaire between visits. 3 weeks, Mission Bay, San Francisco. See if you qualify. And it is visibility study, substance use disorder. Transcranial ultrasound stimulation uses focused sound waves similar to those used in medical imaging to trigger precise pulses of energy. For specific regions of the brain, the sound waves are generated by a device placed on your head, and the energy levels used are low and within international safety guidelines. While ultrasound is commonly used in medical applications, its use in this study is experimental and has not yet been approved by the FDA for treatment. That's very interesting. You're like, yeah, Fred, it's okay. Send some sound waves into my brain. The magnetic resonance imaging component of our study is crucial for ensuring accurate and precise application of TUS. MRI provides detailed real-time images of your brain, allowing us to target specific regions with high precision. MRI scanner uses magnetic fields and radio waves to create images. There is no radiation involved. Deliver the TUS. The combination of TUS with MRI allows us to both precisely target the stimulation and observe its effect on brain activity. Okay. Explain like M5. What does Fred Pearson's new company Nudge does? See if Grok can give us a nice explanation over here. Super cool toy maker, but instead of toys, you're making a special kind of headset you wear on your head like headphones. No, that is wrong. That is the future, not today. But okay, maybe it's explained like on fire. Since it uses something called ultrasound, think of it as like invisible sound waves that can talk to your brain in a gentle way. You put on the headset and press a button, it can help your brain do different things, like make you feel calm so you can sleep better, help you focus when you are doing homework or playing a game, make you feel happier if you are feeling a bit sad, even help you stop doing things you don't want to, like biting your nails. Ooh, wow, wow. Okay, okay, okay. It's like instead of opioid addiction, you're like, oh no, no, what are you addicted to? You're addicted to biting your nails. It's a magic button that helps your brain feel better or work better without needing medicine or anything that goes inside your body. Nudge wants to use this headset to help people who have problems like feeling very sad, having pain all the time, struggling with bad habits, and someday it might even help regular people feel even better every day. Really cool. Press a button to shift your brain state, go to sleep, boost focus, break habits, elevate mood. We believe this device has the potential to improve people's daily lives more than any other technology. Ultrasound neuromodulation has the ingredients necessary for a near-term mainstream consumer product. Research progress in ultrasound has accelerated in the last few years and has begun to produce promising results. It's not just for those with diagnosed conditions. Everyone can benefit from better brain function. Safety is a top priority and a large advantage of ultrasound. It has been used for decades for sensitive applications like imaging children in the womb, in addition to being studied directly for neuromodulation at similar low power levels. Previously worked at places on projects like the Vision Pro, Neuralink, SpaceX, top university labs like Stanford. Okay. Wow. Patrick, co-founder Arc Institute, Berkeley Bio. Okay. A non-invasive ultrasound helmet for neuromodulation applications include addiction, stress, anxiety, sleep. A senior person. It's an amazing feat of engineering. Mm. Rubin helped by non-invasive ultrasound neuromodulation with consumer grade product. Through universal nature, all of us will, over time, have a friend or family member suffer a significant disorder of the brain as a step towards healthier, longer life for all. Does ultrasound waves, how ultrasound waves can help me feel calmer? Your brain is like a busy playground with a lot of kids, your thoughts and feelings running around. Sometimes the playground gets too wild and you feel stressed or nervous. Ultrasound waves, like the ones nudges headset uses, are like a gentle whisper that helps calm the playground down so you feel relaxed. How it works, super simple. Invisible sound waves, special kind of sound that's so high pitched you can't hear it, like a dog whistle. The headset sends these waves to specific points in your brain. These waves give a tiny, gentle nudge to the parts of your brain that control how you feel. It's like pressing a calm down button in your head. By tickling the right brain spots, the waves can slow down the wild signals that make you feel stressed or anxious, helping you feel peaceful, like when you are cozy in bed listening to a lullaby. Your brain has areas that control things like where your excitement. Ultrasound can make those areas quieter so you feel calmer. It's super safe because it's just sound waves, not medicine or anything that goes inside your body. Scientists are studying this to help people with big worries like anxiety or even trouble sleeping by making their brains feel more relaxed. Feel calmer whenever you need it, like a superhero tool for your brain. Seem like I am undergrad student. Exactly. Ultrasound helps can help me feel. Understanding ultrasound effects. Okay, so now we are going deeper. We are going deeper. All right, we have the answer. Understanding how transcranial focused ultrasound diffuse can help you feel calmer. An undergrad level explanation. Hey, as an undergrad, you probably have some basic bio or physics under your belt. Think intro neuroscience or waves in physics class. Okay. Transcranial focused ultrasound. Transcranial focused ultrasound. We'll go step by step. What is it? How does physics work? Biology in your brain. Why it calms you down? Some real evidence. I'll keep it straightforward, like a lecture note. Okay, let's see. So the basics. What is TFIS? How does it use ultrasound? The physics. How do these waves interact with the brain? Okay, this is what I'm interested in. Biology. What happens to your brain cells, specifically for feeling calmer, targeting anxiety and stress? Evidence and real world stuff. Okay. Ultrasound is just sound waves at super high frequency, way above what you can hear. Normal sound waves, like music, bounce around, but in diffuse, we focus them like a laser beam using a device, sends multiple waves from different angles. They converge on a tiny spot in your brain, maybe just a few millimeters wide, without surgery occurring through your skull. Why through the skull? Travel well through soft tissue and bone. Think how doctors use it for baby scans. It's safe and non-ionizing. The transcranial part means it goes right through your head to target deep brain areas that other methods can't reach easily. In low intensity mode, the energy is kept gentle, enough to nudge brain cells, but not heat things up too much or cause damage. It's like whispering to your brain instead of shouting. Okay. I understand what this meant, like why through the skull. Okay. Transcranial focused ultrasound. Physics. How do these waves interact with your brain? Picture waves in a pond. Drop a pebble, ripple spread out. Diffuse focused waves create pressure changes, compression, and rarefaction as they pass through brain tissue. At the focal point, this can cause tiny mechanical effects. The waves stir up fluids around cells like a mini current. Cavitation, super small bubbles form and collapse, creating gentle vibrations, but in low intensity, it's stable and safe. No popping, like in high power ultrasound for breaking kidney stones. Thermal tweaks, slight warmth, 1 degree rise, which might help, but isn't the main driver. Mechanics are key. These effects are pulsed on-off bursts to precisely control the stimulation. It's non-invasive, so no electrodes or implants needed. Just wear the device for a session, maybe 10 to 30 minutes. Biology, what happens to your brain cells? Okay, this is very interesting. Your brain is made of neurons, nerve cells that communicate via electric signals and chemicals, neurotransmitters. TFUS modulates this activity, meaning it can excite or inhibit neurons without permanently changing them. Mechanical nudge on cell membranes. The waves stretch or vibrate neuron membranes, opening ion channels, tiny gates for charged particles like sodium or calcium. This changes the cell's electrical potential, making it more or less likely to fire a signal. It's like giving a neuron a gentle poke to dial down hyperactivity. Mechanical nudge on cell membranes. The waves stretch or vibrate neuron membranes, opening ion channels, tiny gates for charged particles like sodium or calcium. Okay. This changes the cell's electrical potential, making it more or less likely to fire a signal. It's like giving a neuron a gentle poke to dial down hyperactivity. Interesting. Okay. So this is what's exactly happening, that through these waves, you are able to stretch or vibrate these membranes. And when you are stretching or vibrating these membranes, these charged particles like sodium or calcium are either going in or coming out, which is kind of the main mechanism through which neurons communicate their signals or neuron talk to each other. And now this is not clear whether you are increasing or reducing, but by increasing or reducing, you're basically reducing hyperactivity over there. You are trying to reduce uh, the calming basically means reducing the amount of signal that these neurons are firing, reducing all the reducing the intensity of signal that the neurons are firing. Neurotransmitter release, it can trigger the release of calming chemicals like GABA, which quiets brain activity, or serotonin, mood booster, or reduce stress hormone like cortisol. Network changes. TPUS alters how brain regions connect. For example, it can weaken overactive links in anxiety circuits, like turning down the volume or noisy feedback loop. Unlike drugs which flood your whole body, TPUS is targeted, hit just a spot, like the amygdala, your brain's fear center, or prefrontal cortex, emotion regulator, especially for feeling calmer, targeting anxiety and stress. Anxiety often stems from an overactive amygdala. It amps up fear responses, making your heart race or mind spiral. TFAS can inhibit, slow down amygdala activity, reducing those fear signals and helping you feel more chill. If your brain's brain network, default mode network, is stuck in overdrive, TFAS targets it to quiet rumination, like mindfulness, but tech assisted. Stimulation boosts self control over emotions, helping you regulate stress better. It can also indirectly calm you by stimulating the vagus nerve, a major chill out pathway, while the ear area, promoting relaxation signal body wide. Lower anxiety syndrome symptoms, better mood, easier sleep. Think of it as biohacking your brain's stress response without side effects from meds. Studies, mostly pilots and trials, show promise. Targeted the amygdala and cut fear responses in healthy people. Reduce anxiety in depression patients. Community study hit the default mode network and ease symptoms in folks with mood issues. FDA cleared for some uses. Low risk since it's non-invasive and reversible. Effects wear off after the session. Okay. Effects wear off after the session. Companies like Nudge are pushing it at home use. Okay, perfect.